Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today we are talking about the debut album from Absent in Body entitled Plague God, which I feel comfortable saying right off the bat, sonically, lyrically, conceptually, one of the heaviest albums I have heard so far in 2022. Holy fucking shit. Absent in Body is a brand new collaborative effort, or if you prefer, Supergroup, featuring Colin and Matthew from Amenra, Scott Kelly from Neurosis, Tribes of Neurot, Mirrors for Psychic Warfare, and a multitude of other projects, and Igor Cavalera, currently a member of Cavalera Conspiracy, formerly and most famously a member of Brazilian metal icons Sepultura. How exactly all these gentlemen came together, I'm not really sure, but I do know that it has resulted in some of the most agonizing, downright apocalyptic shit I've heard in a while. This is a dangerously powerful and slightly poisonous extreme metal cocktail with little bits and pieces from across the genre. There's some doom metal, there's some sludge metal, there's some industrial and some post-metal. There are a lot of agonizing, psychotic, screaming and wailing vocals. There are a lot of monstrous guttural vocals. There are a lot of thick and oppressive riffs, contrasted and complemented by some very stark and almost mechanical percussion. The fact that members of Neurosis and Amenra are a part of this project is not at all a coincidence. This does, for the most part, feel like a fusion of those two worlds, with maybe just a dash of influence from Author and Punisher and classic Godflesh. It is, as a result of all of this, a very uncompromising record, and to a certain extent, a somewhat ugly one. It's very dark. It's very bitter. It is a very bleak and grim and misanthropic record. Its lyrics draw from reality. It talks a lot about plagues and existential threats to humanity. I mean, for God's sakes, the track Sarin, the most recent promo single from this record, is billed by Revolver magazine as a driving hypnotic indictment of the Shinriko religious cult's 1995 nerve gas attack on the Tokyo subway. In that same article from Revolver magazine, Colin writes, "Humanity is out of line. We forgot what's actually important. Every genius invention we've had in the past 100 decades is blowing up in our face right now. There's daily buckets of shit being dropped on our heads. It doesn't stop anymore." So yeah, right off the bat, this is clearly not something I'm going to be adding to my workout playlist. This is not something I'm going to be playing at the family barbecue or on a romantic date night, you know, trying to set that right mood with a glass of red wine and perhaps some foie gras, some baked brie and truffles. This is music that is meant for, like, cold, dark, rainy days and depressive episodes and just all-around fucking pain. Like, straight up, folks, if you're walking into this record looking for a bunch of big, bright, bubbly choruses and soaring guitar leads and ripping solos and pyrotechnics and just pure badass metal energy, like, yeah, we're gonna ride our Harley Davidson off into the fucking sunset, pound back a couple beers and hang out, don't listen to this record. Don't waste your fucking time. Opening track Rise from Ruins starts this album off on an appropriately hellish and potentially nightmare-inducing note with these very slow-paced, industrial, sludge, doom metal passages, agonizing vocals, a lot of dissonance and empty space contrasted with loud clashes of violent percussion and thick burly riffs. I mean, it is seriously brutal stuff. This feels like slowly walking to my actual doom. Like, I'm in an alleyway, late at night, some crazy fucking serial killer with a machete is in the distance. I can see him, like he's standing underneath a streetlight and everything, and I'm just walking towards him slowly as if I somehow don't know he's there, but at the same time I do because I'm scared shitless. I've pissed my pants. I am going to die tonight, and I'm not going to do anything about it. That's what this song feels like. Does that make sense? I don't actually know. But I do know that this is some gnarly shit. Remarkably, somehow the album gets more disgusting, more depressing, and more genuinely brutal and gnarly as time goes on. For instance, In Spirit in Spite has this super slimy, scuzzy bass groove. It's very repetitive. There's a lot of heavy, slow-paced percussion that's built on top of it. It makes it feel like a fucking kaiju slowly rising out of the sea. But it never quite emerges. There's no proper catharsis or explosive, action-packed climax. Instead, the track kind of deconstructs itself as it gets closer and closer to the end, with some robotic poetry eventually mumbled over very minimalistic guitar work. There's also The Acres of the Ache and The Half-Rising Man, which are intentionally but effectively quite monotonous, droning away on some very lethargic ambient sections, moving at a slightly languid pace despite the grueling doom and apocalyptic vibes. They take their sweet fucking time to get to the point. As a result, both of these tracks may test your patience, even if you are an extreme music connoisseur, but once the point is finally made, I think you'll be more than satisfied. The only track that doesn't really do a ton for me would be the aforementioned Sarin, even despite its truly incredible kind of lyrical backdrop and setting. I just found it to be a more one-dimensional kind of industrial doom cut in comparison to everything else on the record, but hey, it's still loaded with some super fucking big, disgusting riffs, and I think at the end of the day, that's what people are really gonna love about this particular track, just the sheer doom of it all. The only other issue I have with this record stems from the pacing. It's not an especially long or bloated record, with only 5 songs clocking in at roughly 34-35 minutes-ish, give or take a minute or two, but it does feel very long because, as we've noted, it is intentionally quite monotonous, and it's also very depressing, it's very dark, and it just kind of continuously beats you down. I think if I were working behind the scenes on this record, I would push the band ever so slightly to throw in a couple more dynamic riffs and beats here and there. Nothing crazy. I'm not asking for like a full-blown Sepultura-esque breakdown thrown into this motherfucker, but, you know, just something to alleviate the constant tension and monotony. Overall, though, I'm very, very impressed with what I'm hearing on this record. The production is fantastic. I love the concept. I love how dark and disturbing and unorthodox everything about Plague God is. That title is 100% fucking earned. I would feel very comfortable giving this a very, very, very enthusiastic 3.5 out of 5. Definitely your average Joe metalhead, your more casual kind of rock metal listener is not going to get a fucking thing from this, but the people who love weird, dark, underground, scary, unpredictable shit, you know, like if you're the type of person who casually listens to like fucking Portal and Lingua Ignota and Neurosis and Godflesh and Amenra, you're going to love this fucking record, no doubt in my mind. I'm really hoping this isn't a one-off kind of thing because honestly, there's so much potential. There's so much shit going on with the lyrics, the sound, the overall concept and design and aesthetic of this band. It would be a fucking waste for Absent and Body to do one record and then just fuck off. But if that were the case, I suppose I can't argue with this record because goddamn, it is seriously really fucking good. As I've already said like twice in this review, one of the heaviest albums I've heard so far this year. I'll say it again if it's necessary. I don't fucking care. I'm being 110% serious. 3.5 out of 5. Holy shit, it's a good record. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I'm not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.